Hey everyone, and once again, welcome back to another episode of the Melbourne 245 series. Today is an episode of the Training Diaries, an episode where I deep dive into my previous week of training, a conversation regarding all things training, nutrition, workouts, everything that goes into preparing for a sub 245 marathon. Something that you can chuck on while you're on your easy run or while you're folding your favorite pair of LSKD tights. Last week was yet another brick laid into what was actually quite a big week. I was telling myself I just need to get through this week and then I'll have a down week leading into the Bridge to Brisbane 10K. I started the week with a bit of a niggle in my calf, which I completely know the reason for. So I was going into the week with some pretty grim thoughts of hitting my total mileage goal. With some minor adjustments to the plan and execution, I was still able to hit 117 Ks total mileage for the week, which I was really happy with. So let's get into the training deep dive for the week. That was the 26th of August to the 1st of September. This video series is once again proudly sponsored by Aid Station. They're keeping me fueled and hydrated for my preparations to run 245 at the Melbourne Marathon and have done so for the past 2 years. I can always count on Aid Station to have the best products and super fast shipping. So check them out if you want to support me by supporting them. Now back to you, Dave. All right, so kicking it off with Monday. Monday, we started the week definitely not strong. I guess started the week with an A. But we started off with a treadmill recovery. This one was only 5.5 Ks because I ran 30 minutes. So I planned on originally sort of doing a double that day. If I'm really sore from the Sunday Longy the day before, sometimes I like to split up my recovery run into 2 parts. So I'll do like a 25 to 30 minute recovery run in the morning and then I'll do the same in the afternoon. Just so, I don't know, it's just mentally, it's just easier for me. And I have the opportunity or I have the availability to do that. So that's what I've been doing. And I was quite sore. My calf was very sore after the day before's Sunday long run. Like I said to you guys in the previous training diaries, I did that beer mile. I was all out sprinting from pretty much cold every single time. Did that a couple of times. And my calf pulled up quite sore for the Sunday run. I felt it at the start of the run and all the way through. And I knew it was going to be sore. And it was. Monday, woke up pretty sore. So I opted for the treadmill recovery run double, but I only ended up doing the one. So I literally only did 5.5 Ks, total Ks for the day. So I didn't start the week very strong, hence why I was having some grim thoughts about like hitting my mileage target for the week. But yeah, only started with 5.5 K, did those ones in the Mag Max. Just the max cushion and like max stack just makes running slower, just a bit nicer. So I usually opt for those on my recovery days, the day after the long run. The next day we come to Tuesday, which Tuesday is, like you guys would know, my session days. So we always start these ones off with 5 Ks easy as a warm up. So that's what I did. I did that one in the Mizuno Neo Vista. And then we got into the session. So the session was planned to be 5 by 6 minutes with a 2-minute jog recovery in between. Okay, and the way these 6-minute efforts were broken up, we had 2 minutes at threshold or around marathon pace. Then the middle 2 minutes of the 6 minutes was done faster, so more half marathon or a little bit faster. And then the last 2 minutes of the 6 was done the same as the first 2, so around that threshold or marathon pace. That was the idea behind the session. So 5 rounds of that 6 minutes. And with the 2-minute jog recovery, so all these jog recoveries, they usually end up being a float. It's usually around 4:30 pace. I had good intentions to join in on this session and maybe scale it back just to give my calf a bit of a chance to recover. But ultimately, I pulled out after 2 rounds of 6 minutes and just decided to sort of jog the rest of the session in, just so I still got the mileage, but I wasn't putting the intensity through my calf. And I'm really glad I did that, but part of me kind of wish that I didn't even do those first 2 in the first place, because the calf was getting pretty tight, hence the reason I stopped. Probably could have and should have just gotten away with doing a easy run that day, but yeah, you guys know how it is. You're just wishful thinking and you have the best thoughts in mind, but they're not always the best for you. So yeah, pulled out for that one. but worked out all right. I said was meant to be 5 by 6 minutes, but calf wasn't feeling best, so I pulled up after 2 and ran easy to 11K. So I ran for the session, we ran just over 11Ks at 4:22 pace, just over 16Ks mileage for that day on the Tuesday. At this stage, I was feeling a little bit stressed about my calf and thought, how's it gonna go the rest of the week? So I messaged Darcy from the Run Clinic just to get a bit more advice on what I should do. And he said to just try and wear plated super shoes for the next couple of runs, just to give the muscles a bit of a break and I guess make their running a little bit easier. So that's what I did. I ended up wearing, for my Wednesday Easy 60, I ended up wearing the New Balance SC Trainer Elite V4s as well. By the way, wearing super shoes on an easy run, it's a dream. It's just nice. Like it just makes running easy so much easier, more enjoyable. It's just really great. So obviously I enjoyed this one. It is only written as 8.2 Ks though, because my watch went dead. First time this has ever happened to me, and it went dead. I don't know how I let it go dead, but it went dead. So it stopped at 8Ks, and then I just had to manually add the next 4K. And the reason I know I did 12K is because I've done that loop, or that out and back, plenty of times, so I know what I did. And I even justified the pace a little bit slower for whatever reason. So I did 5-minute pace for the 4K, even though I was running on average 4:55. So just to be sure that I wasn't cheating the system, I did 5-minute Ks for that one. So we ran 12 Ks in total for a nice easy 60 for the day. Then the next day we come into my easy 80 minutes, or my 80 minutes. This one once again was run in the Elite V4s. Really enjoyed this one. My calf was feeling a lot better this one. I could barely even feel it, to be honest, at all. Hence why I ran 4:38 pace on average for the 80 minutes, and we got 17.3K in total for the morning. Really enjoyed that session. It's really funny when you're running, especially downhill in super shoes. I remember I was just running, I think I was listening to like a drum and bass mix, which definitely didn't help me running faster than I should have. But I remember looking down and I was running 4:15 pace, and I thought I was running easy. And I just laughed to myself. I was like, Jesus Christ. It would be great to wear super shoes every single day. I mean, that would be just bloody pleasant. But there was like a stretch of like 5Ks here where I was running 420s the whole time. And it was just, yeah, it was nice. It was nice. The heart rate was super low, stayed in the 150s as well, which is always good. I felt fit. I felt so fit during this session. And the Strava graph here, I'll make sure I put it up on the screen, is a bit sus. Totally didn't mean to do it, but see if that'll load. Oh. Hopefully you guys can see that. That is sus. So sus. Just a bit of Strava art. But that is 17 and a half, or just under 17 and a half Ks for the morning. Then we come on to Friday. If you guys have watched the previous episode of the series of the New Farm Park workout, if you haven't, make sure you go watch that. Linked up with Mark Moore for the workout, and also linked up with Dan from Document Media, who filmed the whole thing, followed us on the bike, and just got some absolutely unreal footage. He knows what to do with the camera, and he does such a good job. And massive shout out to him. If you do want to check him out for, any jobs that you're looking for yourself, he does construction, like gimbal work, he does drone footage, does all that sort of stuff. Or if you're looking to make any kind of content similar to mine, for any sport really, he's your man. He's based on the Sunshine Coast, Brisbane, Gold Coast, pretty much wherever you need him, he'll be able to come to you and help you out. So if you're definitely looking for someone for the job, don't look past Document Media. He's the man. But we got into that session. It was a New Farm Park. It was freaking sick. Got some really great content. I'm actually also so proud of how that episode turned out. One of my favorite episodes I think I've ever made. Met up with Mark. We did a 5K warm-up, keeping to the tradition of the run group, and did that one in the Neo Vistas from Mizuno. And then we got into the session. So The session, if you haven't seen the video, I'll just briefly run through it for the purpose of this one. We started off with 3K, 2K, 1K, and then finished with 3K. So there was a 90-second recovery after the first 3K, and then after the rest was all 60-second recoveries. Now those recoveries are all standing. Usually I would maybe do this as a float or a jog recovery, but just for the purpose of filming and talking to the camera and all the rest, and I guess enjoying the workout a bit more, I opted for a standing recovery, which by the way, I was really enjoying. I soaked those up. But the idea was for the first 3K to run it around threshold or slightly faster than marathon pace, and then pick it up for the 2K, pick it up again for the 1K, and then the last 3K was to do just a little bit faster than we did the first 3Ks. The splits here, for the first 3K, we ran 3:44 pace on average, so pretty good. Then we had that 90-second recovery. We went into our 2K, which we did at 3:35s average. We had a 60-second recovery where we got into the 1K, which was 3:24. So definitely moving, getting more towards that, in between that 5K to 10K effort. Then we had our last 60-second recovery before we got into our final 3K effort, and we averaged 3:37s for that one. So definitely managed to average a little bit faster than the first 3K and slightly slower than that 2K. So I think that was a pretty well-paced session. I think we got some really good stimulus out of that, got some really good content. One thing that I really didn't want to do was overdo it, just because I knew that my calf was still lingering around, and I knew I had an absolute behemoth of a long run coming up on the Sunday. So I didn't want to just write myself off and then be paying for it later on. Over that weekend, and I think that was a job well done, because I don't think I did that. I think I paced it well. I think Mark might have been overreaching slightly for that session, but to be honest, he did such a good job. He didn't give up, and he hung on there all the way until the end. I think it was like the last couple of 100 meters he started to sort of fade back. To be honest, I was probably picking up the pace on that last couple of 100 meters just to really finish strong. So yeah, that was a really great session. We did 15.5K volume for the entire workouts, and happy Friday. That was bloody good. That's what dreams are made of for me. Perfect Friday. That's the sort of shit that fills my cup. That's the sort of shit that feeds my purpose. So some more of that coming. And I hope you guys enjoyed that video as well. If you did enjoy the video, comment on it. Let me know, because not that I need like the social approval, but yeah, it just makes me feel good when I feel really good about a video and you guys let me know that you like it. So yeah, definitely let me know your opinion in the comments for that one. Then we come to Saturday. So Saturday was usually an easy hour, but because I knew that I needed to make up mileage for the week, and I had actually organized with my friends to meet them for breakfast, I was like, why the hell not? May as well just run to breakfast. So running to breakfast actually took an hour and 10 minutes. So I only ran an extra 10 minutes than I usually would. And it was 15.4K. This one was 4:36 average pace per K. And you can bet I was wearing the super shoes once again. I was wearing the New Balance SC Elites, which just make life so much easier, just floating through. It was nice and early. The sun was coming up, beautiful. It did get pretty hot though by the end of the run, but yeah, ultimately wasn't complaining. Such a beautiful morning. I actually ran with a subscriber of the channel, and damn, I can't remember his name, but shout out to you, mate, if you're watching this now. It was good doing about 4K with you. I did go on your Strava and I looked at that segment, and you did your fastest 4Ks with me. So I appreciate that. That was really awesome. It's really cool to actually just connect with someone who watches the channel and just have like just a genuine conversation with them. So that was a really cool moment for me, and was definitely a highlight of the run. Then we come to the Sunday Longy, the main events, what you guys have all been waiting for, and what I was thinking about all goddamn week. So we start at 4:45 a.m. in the morning. We ran 35.5 Ks in total. We were running for 2 hours and 36 minutes, and we averaged 4:24 per kilometer pace for the run. So this wasn't just any regular Sunday long run. We actually had a bit of a marathon session thrown in. So this Sunday longy was including 4 by 10 minutes with a 5-minute float recovery in between. First 90 minutes, we treat it as a bit of a progression run. This is kind of how the run group likes to do their long runs anyway, and I'm not complaining. I love that. I love that style of running. it just kind of like lets you warm into the effort, and you get to build your heart rate and build your effort as the run goes on. I just think that's the best way to do it, and the most enjoyable as well. I couldn't imagine just going out at like 4:30s or 4:20s just to start your long run. It just doesn't feel right for me. But that's how we started. So 90-minute progression. And then once we hit 90 minutes, that's when we started our first 10-minute effort. So the 10-minute efforts were done at marathon pace or marathon effort. So this was between 3:50 to 4 minute per kilometer pace. With those 5-minute recoveries in between, we were just kind of floating at a around 4:30 pace or 4:20 pace, around that. So for the progression run, we started off at around, the first K was 5-minute pace, so definitely started slow, love that. And then the next K was 4:38, so yeah, back to reality there. We kind of started off in the 4:40s, went down to 4:30s until we got to 90 minutes. 90 minutes got us just over 20K, and then we went into our first effort. So for the first 10-minute effort, we clocked a 3:54, and then a 3:56K. So for these 10 minutes, because we were hovering around that 4-minute pace or just below, it was usually around 2.5 Ks work for each 10 minutes, give or take a couple of meters or so. So that was 2.56 Ks in total for your first 10 minutes. Then we had a 5-minute float. So that one was done at around 4:30 pace. Then we got into our next effort, 3:51, 3:54, 3:56. So at this stage, I was actually feeling quite wrecked. I was wearing the Superblast 2s from Asics. Unreal long run shoe, but I will admit, I was missing super shoes when I got to the deep end, or when I got to this part of the workout. I feel like the Superblast were just really, really great for that steady running. But as soon as I needed to pick it up, it just wasn't really giving me what I would want, or what I would expect from a super shoe. I mean, obviously, I felt like I really just wanted a little bit more pop under my feet, which a super shoe just will really give you, I guess, at the deep end of a marathon. I guess that's why you don't really see anybody racing it in Superblast. Great long run shoe, really, really great. But when you're having to change through those paces like this, it's just, I just felt like I was really working hard to get to the pace that I wanted. And then once I was there, it was just, I felt like I was working harder than I wanted to be, just the whole pace with the group. But anyway, moving on, we go to our third 10-minute effort, and that one was 3:54, 3:57, and then 3:54. I don't know if you can tell from those times, but I was definitely hurting. I was on Struggle Street, and I was really just trying to hang on to the group and just really dial in. But the idea of only having one more effort after that was pleasant. So I knew that I just had to get through that 10 minutes. I only had one more 10-minute effort, and then I was done. So we go into the final 10-minute efforts. And one thing I will add about this effort is Kyle, Kyle Weiss. He's pretty much the coach or the dad of the run group. He was with us, and by the way, he was running in the Neo Vista. What a weapon. Not my shoe of choice for a long run with effort at the end at all, but he's just a different breed, got that shit done. Props to him. But he said, all right, as soon as we get through the first 5 minutes, you're not looking at your watch at all, no clock watching, just run off feel, dial in an effort, and just lock in. But I pretty much used that. I pretty much took that advice and didn't look at my watch for the entire 10 minutes and just sat with the group and just let them take me along and just tried to really just dial in and just, I guess, just dial in like a race effort. Just imagine that I'm in a marathon. Imagine like I'm in the deep end, and like this is the shit that is gonna make me grow as a runner, and like this is the shit that I've like asked for. Like I want this, like I enjoy this. Like sometimes I get stuck in a long run and I'm thinking like, you can get stuck thinking like, oh, this sucks. Like I just want it to be over. But like, then I'll have like a realization, I chose to do this, and this is the shit I love. Like I love being in the deep end. So why am I not embracing it? So I kind of had like a whole shift in my mental, and just locked in. And yeah, so it actually shows in the K splits with this one. So we ran 3:50, 3:50, and then 3:51. So that was great. Wouldn't have been able to run that pace if I was doing these ones. looking, I would have been thinking, oh, like I'm stuffed. We're working way harder than need to be, and I just got it done. Don't get me wrong, it was hard, but it was one of those ones that I was just really glad that I did, and it just really ticked off what was really good week. Then we cooled down for 2.5K. So I ran that 4:30, 4:22, and then 4:41. I will admit that last half a K, I was on struggle street, slowed down, the group dropped me. I was probably about 30 meters behind them, didn't care. I just wanted to get back to the surf club, back to my car, back to my drink bottle, and just sink into a chair and chat shit for about half an hour with the crew. So yeah, that is the Sunday long run. And I burnt 2,500 calories. A bloody lot of calories. So you know what I was doing? I got straight home after that, got into a feed, actually hopped in the shower, straight to a feed, and then feed up, maxo, relaxo. And that is going to conclude the weekly training breakdown segments of the Training Diaries. So now what we're going to get into a Q&A. I didn't do this last week because I didn't ask the questions, but this time I've got an abundance of questions. Sorry if I don't get to yours. I think I'm going to answer the rest of them just on my Instagram story in a question box, or I will reply to yours in DM personally. But I've selected out a few that I think you guys will get the most benefit from. And again, of course, they're going to be completely off the cuff. Didn't really think about the answers to these. I'm just going to be answering on the go, completely raw, completely honest, and it's all your questions. So let's get into it. So first question is from Beth, and it says details/info about your coaching services. So a lot of you guys might not actually know this because I don't really talk about it too much on the YouTube channel, but I am actually a running coach, and I've been doing that for probably the last 6 months now, and it is a huge passion of mine. Not only do I get like a really great feeling from my own accomplishments and my own training, I seem to get that same feeling from helping others and their accomplishments and helping them with their training and nutrition and just race day strategies. And I just love being that, I guess, that word of wisdom that they can sort of come to, and like I just relay the experiences that I've had and all the things that I've learned along the way of my journey and doing research and everything. And I get to relay that back onto other people and help them with their journey. So it's a really big passion of mine. And I realize, it is a whole nother side of me that you guys probably really haven't seen much of. Basically, we work out what goals that you would like to achieve, whether that's a race goal or just improving overall fitness and becoming a better, stronger, more efficient runner. And then I will craft a personal running program for you to achieve those goals. So a lot of the crew will be training towards a specific goal, like a specific event. But I do have some athletes that are just looking to improve their overall running fitness and just overall lifestyle. So I will create programs that cater to them and help them achieve those goals. So if you have found yourself in the position of not knowing really what to do with training, or you know that you should be running easy and doing workouts and I guess long runs, but you don't really know how to structure it or really where to start, send me a message on Instagram, or you can just comment down below, and then we can have a chat, and then we can figure out the best course of action to get you towards your goals and how I can help you most. Reach out, I'll send you some more information, and then we can get to work. Next one, this one's from Nathan. So how do you accurately track shoe mileage when changing shoes mid-workout? So funny you asked that. You guys will have noticed that on my Tuesday and Friday sessions that I do the warm-up, the 5K warm-up separately on Strava to the workout. That is purely because I will wear a different pair of shoes for the warm-up that I do to the workout. So for that 5K warm-up, I have noted this as well, that I'll do it in the Mizuno Neo Vista. So that way on Strava, which is where I track all the mileage for all of my shoes, which I think is the best way to do it. I don't really know any other way to do it unless you manually just wrote it in your notes or something. But that way I'm adding 5Ks onto the Mizuno, and then I've got the bulk of the session where I'll be wearing the New Balance, and the mileage is going to that shoe instead. You may not think it's really that important, and I guess it really it's not that important. But if you're just riding the New Balance shoe for the whole thing, you're adding 5, 10, 15K a week onto the New Balance that you didn't actually run in them, and that'll add up over time. So that's how I do it, and that's the reason why I split up the warm-up from the workout. Next one is from Kai. What's up, Kai? We've got shoe rotation. So my current shoe rotation right now, recovery runs, I have the Puma Mag Max, usually done on the treadmill. Then for my easy runs is 100% done in the Mizuno Neo Vista. Then we have my sessions, which is my New Balance SC Trainer Elite V4. And then we have race day. Race day, I'm actually not sure, to be honest. I was actually thinking about what I'm gonna wear for the Bridge to Brisbane. I have a couple of shoes to choose from, although some of them do give me forefoot issues because they're too narrow. So my options for race day right now are the Metaspeed Sky Paris, the Saucony Endorphin Elite, although those are pretty worn, they're over 400 Ks. And then I have the Hoka Rocket X2 as my third pick. Not really sure which one I'm going to be wearing out of those for the Bridge to Brisbane. I'm thinking probably the Hoka Rocket X2. And then we have long runs, which is always done in the Super Blast 2s, although in saying that, my next long run that I have a bit of marathon effort or faster paces, I'm probably going to be wearing the New Balance. Moving on. Oh, and when I'm filming YouTube, I've got the Hoka recovery slides. Always. Cool, and then we come into the last question, guys. This one's from Patrick. So, what's your recovery process after a long/hard run? Recovery process is get hydrated. That's the first thing. Second thing, prioritize protein. So, getting in a good feed. Getting a good feed in with like a good amount of protein, a good amount of carbs, just so that you're kickstarting the recovery process and you're also replenishing the carbs that you just absolutely depleted, especially after a long run. But yeah, getting fluids in, so getting hydrated with electrolytes. I use Element sachets, really high amount of sodium, potassium, and magnesium in that. So yeah, I'll smash one of those. I'll smash one of those before workout and after if I know it's a big one as well. But to do with recovery, sometimes I like to go down to like the local recovery place. On a Sunday, I'll try to do it in the afternoon. So I'll do the long run in the morning. Afternoon, I'll go do some hot cold exposure. So it'll be like a ice bath pool. It's usually around like, 6 degrees. Stay in there for 2 minutes. And then I go in the warm spa for 5 because I'm delicate. And it just feels too damn good. So I do 2 minutes in the cold, 5 minutes in the warm, and I'll do like 4 or 5 rounds of that. And I find that really helps. But if I am really sore, I'll just try to do stretching or foam rolling. I find that definitely helps. And another thing that I like to do for recovery is the Monday following a Sunday long run, I'll go for a recovery run. So not worry about the pace, just plotting along, just purely flushing out the legs and getting the blood pumping through the muscles. And yeah, just pure recovery purposes for that one. But that's going to conclude the questions for the week. Thank you so much for sending those in, guys. Love answering those, and I'll be putting, if you have any other questions, comment them down below, or you can just keep an eye out for the question box I'm going to be chucking on my Instagram story and in the running channel chats. But that is going to conclude episode 2 of the Training Diaries for the Melbourne 245 series. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Look forward to another episode later on in this week. It's going to be a really good one. Hint, hint, lactate threshold testing. A little prick of the finger, bit of blood, bit of a blood scare. So if you don't like blood, don't tune in. Just kidding. Make sure you tune in anyway. It's going to be a good episode. Hopefully very informative, doing it with Run Clinic, doing it with Darcy from the Run Clinic. So yeah, it's going to be really good. But as always, if you like this video, make sure you like it and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of my future Melbourne 245 series content. And thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.